Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War Holy Trinity event in which the War Cleric is added to the game, as well as quite a few good early game things. Also, don't forget, you can still get the new Mythic up until this Friday. Also, we are getting a new Mythic this Friday, as well as Bounty Hunter is going to be occurring this Friday, so we got quite a few things going on this week. But let's get into the War Cleric first. So, it's trait stones. It has a blue-yellow trait stone. This would mainly be used for Knight Coronet early on in the game. Really good frontline tank. Later on, you'd use it on a Princess Elspeth. Really good, similar to that of a Firebomb, and giving you a lot of mana generation very quick. Great for running in things like Explore, and in some cases is much better than a Firebomb, though more often than not, Firebomb, due to its damage, is better than it. So, as far as this troop itself, very niche purpose, but could potentially find its way into teams. It gives all allies 6 attack, and then deals a decent amount of damage, above average, to all undead and daemons. Unfortunately, it only does damage if they are undead or a daemon. So, yeah, it is very limited on what you can use. Basically, unless the entire enemy team is undead and or daemon, you pretty much can't use this unless that condition. There are some instances in pets that you can get away with it. There's also some instances in challenges that you can get away with it because it's the same thing every single time. But other than that, you are very rarely going to be able to utilize this troop, unfortunately. So for the most part, not going to see much usage. So let's get into all the other things. As far as the event objectives this week, we have ourselves 10% to all divines, which is pretty nice because we do have to use that for invasion this week, so that'll make it a little bit easier for us. And we also get 10% to all humans, and there's something pretty relevant to that in the Soulforge this week as well. We get 2 times trait stones whenever we use the War Cleric in PvP. This only applies to PvP, though you can use this in casual PvP, and that's mainly where you're going to be using it to get the free trait stones, because trying to run this in normal PvP is pretty much just going to get you a bunch of loses, simply because you will not really be able to win with this thing against most teams, since most teams are not going to be pure undead or pure daemon. So pretty much just one trophying all the things with constant repick, or up against 4 times firebombs are the only 2 things you're going to bother doing this against if you're actually going to be trait stone farming with it. And other than that, we have to kill a bunch of blues in PvP or Explore. If you're looking to do this in Explore, you'd most likely want to do it in either the Glacial Peaks Kingdom or over in Merlantis. That is mainly because these 2 kingdoms have the most amount of blue compared to all of the other kingdoms. So whichever trait stone you end up needing more is the one where you're going to want to do that. Or of course, you could just constantly do it throughout PvP throughout the week. As far as event keys this week, nothing really too good in it. It is a White Helm week. So if we go over to White Helm, we can see everything that is available. Everything Ultra Rare Plus here is available in the drop pool. The only 3 really noteworthy ones are the 2 Legends and the Mythic, which is Stasia as a Legend, Moloch as a Legend, and the Guard's Avatar as the Mythic. Most of these troops aren't really that relevant. We have Moloch here mainly as a Drain. If I'm not mistaken, he's one of the only few red Drains in the game, but other than that, that's the only thing he really has going for him. Stasia ended up getting nerfed about a year back, and ever since then has pretty much been useless. It's only really good at barriering itself. It does give a HP buff and a cleanse, but in most instances, you're not really going to be needing something like that. As far as Guard's Avatar, he is competent, though compared to things like compared to Infernus and stuff, not really that comparable, but it does deal a decent amount of damage to all enemies, and it's boosted based on how much armor he has, a 2-to-1 boost ratio, kind of similar to a Paladin, except he hits absolutely everything. He's also decent against daemons because he does silence all daemons, kind of like that other troop that just came in today, in that he's both good against undead and daemons, though in his case particularly against daemons, as silence is obviously way better than a burn, and as a daemon counter is about the only thing you would really use him for, so not really that high of a troop that you would really need. So no need to do event keys. Might as well just wait till next week when the new kingdom is available in event keys, with 2 new legends coming in next week. So most likely you're going to want to go and save it for that. So Soulforge. We have one really noteworthy thing, mostly for newer players. I very rarely say to go and get the legends from the Soulforge, mainly because more often than not it is a waste. Though there are a few exceptions, and this is definitely one of those few exceptions. Tesla, arguably the strongest troop in the entire game in early game. The only one that you could make pretty much your argument for being slightly better would be Dragon Soul, but this thing is absolutely insane. Double Dwarven Gate, Valkyrie, Tesla. You guys see me suggest it a lot, and I'm suggesting it again because it is really good. Deals 8 true damage, randomly split amongst enemies. That is horrible, but the second part is what makes it amazing. It's boosted by all ally and enemy armor, so even the enemy's armor you end up boosting off of, so absolutely everything within the game. And this is particularly useful when going up against things that are higher stats than you, which is quite often these days with pet battles, with dungeons, with just PvP in general, like 2 trophy and 3 trophy battles, particularly 3 trophies. You will often be up against, early on in the game, things that are way stronger than you are. But you can win it out with a Tesla. You use double Dwarven Gates because they give you barriers, Valkyrie for your mana generation, and then Tesla to actually be the thing that kills, and her damage scales up to what their armor is. And in a way, she almost gets more damage whenever they have a higher armor value compared, even though both their armor and HP is going up, the amount of damage that she'll be doing per cast is technically higher, so her first cast every single time will technically be about the same, but relative to their remaining durability, it's actually going to be quite a bit better when they have higher stats, because even though their HP might be a little bit lower, their armor, assuming they didn't take any damage, because you don't have anything on your team that can damage them, will be higher. So in a way, it only takes about like 2, 3, maybe 4 shots in pretty much every possible situation, and you'll end up killing it out. What's also nice about it is none of its traits are worth getting, so you don't even need to trade it. So yes, definitely, if you haven't gotten yourself a Tesla and you can afford it, highly advise getting one, as you can run it through the entire game perfectly fine. So let's get into a couple other related teams. I'm actually going to be starting in a really weird location to start showing teams right now. We're going to go over to Pet Rescue. We do have a pet. I do need to make sure I go do it before this video ends, though, or before the timer ends, not during this video. But just want to show 2 teams with this. As you can see, we're up against pure daemons right now. Of course, if it's pure daemon or pure undead, we could run something like this. I'm running with a early game team. It's a double War Cleric with an Alchemist plus a Baba Yaga, so if you don't have like any options at all, this could be something that you might be able to run through it. Baba Yaga you get for free from completing our Skea Kingdom. The reason we're running this is double silence in a summon if things start going bad. We have Alchemist to create yellows, also give us some gold, though the yellow is the main thing. Ideally, we would want double traits on him. He's the only thing we technically need traded on this team, but if you can get that, definitely do. And of course, the double War Cleric, which just costs 300 glory each this week, so very easy to obtain. Even if it's not this week, it's only an ultra rare, so still easy to obtain. So let's just go through this battle real quick. This is one of the earlier ones, of course, but still really gonna be at least a decent example of what it can do. Of course, we do have her decently upgraded, but even as a newer player, her damage is pretty competent against these kind of things, against daemons and the undead. So right here, we're going to want to rush either the Alchemist or her up directly. Doesn't really matter which, as long as one of them gets up immediately and then starts doing things. So right here, it looks like we're going to be on our Alchemist, so we'll go throw that down on our green, get both of these up, cast them both, and I believe that will be a match right there. And of course, just keep repeating that if it isn't, but there we go. Just a double cast, and it wipes. Might take about 4 or 5, maybe almost up to 7 by the time the final battle gets around, but you'll easily be able to get those double cycles and kill them out with very little effort. And now, let's go into the real big team with the new one. I do want to actually show some Tesla again. We have shown it a lot, but it is worth repeating. We'll do it here, and we'll do it in the PvP. So we have this. Of course, double Dwarven Gate, Valkyrie, Tesla, Banner, always the Dragon Claw, because it gets the best amount of bonus. I mean, not Dragon Claw, yeah, Dragon Claw. That's the right one. The Dragon Banner, Dragon Claw, same difference. Anyways, but yeah, +2 red, +1 yellow, -1 brown. Obviously, we did not use the brown. Just get the Valkyrie up immediately, throw in the double Dwarven Gates, throw a Tesla a few times, good to go. Of course, regardless of what their stats are, we scale up to it based on all the armor in play. That'd be way too hard to try to calculate out each time, but it's whatever all the armor is on all 8 troops, divided by 4. So whatever that number is how much extra damage we're getting. Of course, what works really well about this team is the Dwarven Gate, other than its armor gain, other than its barrier, it gives 5 mana to all other allies, and this is pretty convenient because everything on this team is divisible by 5. So yeah, really easy to go get it up. Just keep spamming it out. This team can run through pretty much every piece of content in this game, assuming that the piece of content you're playing allows this team composition, you know. Of course, in things like Guild Wars and, well, I guess you can get away with it in Guild Wars, we want to do triple color. But in the case of, you know, like invasions and stuff, obviously you wouldn't be able to use this because there's normally restrictions. But in any place that isn't really restricted, you can very easily just run everything down with this team. And it scales perfectly through all pieces of content. So we'll go throw that down. Looks like this will be a double Tesla since we have enough armor. So we'll go put that in there. Get our last little bit of mana. Unfortunately, that's not full, but we'll go throw a gate. When we already have both the gates up, you throw the first one down. If you already have barrier on both of them, I mean. And if you don't have barrier on the first one, like right now, you'd want to throw the second one. But we'll take this blue just in case it's not the kill, and then go for the kill. And, oh, why would you do that? Of course. We'll just go and throw that down. You obviously, most of these battles be gaining max souls every single time. Valkyrie does give you souls every single cast she does, and only takes a few of them to be able to reach full. Even earlier on in the game, it shouldn't take you more than about 10 casts of her to be able to get it up. Right now, I can actually kill her with it. I mean, why did I say 10 casts? I mean, 4 casts of her, 10 souls per cast approximately, even early on in the game, as long as you have all the magic kingdoms. But yeah, you can easily run that for all the pet battles. I know we're only in the earlier battles, but still relevant for all of them. One other weird thing that came into the game this week is, of course, with that cleric, there's a really easy way to farm souls now at a lower level. You only need to be able to do 20 damage. So if your War Cleric is at least 20 right there, you would be able to do this. And it's this budget team. It's a War Cleric Alchemist double Firebomb with a +2 blue, +1 yellow, -1 green banner. Meaning basically this entire team is just one War Cleric. You don't even really need everything else. Everything else is just kind of there. But this is an EXP farming game for budget. Basically, right when you're starting off in the game, very, very easy to build. If you had 300 glory, you already have this team because that's all you need is her with that banner. So if you're level 30 and to have that kingdom, I believe it's Leonis Empire, plus the her, that's all you need. Basically, single thing on this battle is going to be the exact same every single time, only 20 durability. So all you have to do is go and basically get her up, cast her, dead. I'm gonna try not even touching my team. There we go. We're not even using any of those 3. Just ignore that they're even there. You cast that once, boom, dead. Only do it if you're capable of casting her in for a one-shot kill on that battle. But I believe you wouldn't really need much upgrades to be able to do that, given how high her stats is, particularly with the 20% that she has this week. But yeah, you can easily EXP farm there. Definitely not the quickest EXP farm team. Don't get me wrong. Not even remotely close. But if you don't have anything else to use, like you don't have fire bombs upgraded yet, you don't have the sunbird combos, you don't have any kind of Elspeth combo, even though the trait stone's available this week, it's something you could go and use. And really easy. As long as you have 300 glory, you have that team. Well, 300 glory plus the banner, but that's easy to get. Anyways, that's that. Let's go into, I guess, PvP. Do have 2 teams, I believe, I want to show. One of them is, of course, Tesla again. I want to go throw it against the meta. And what even is the other one? I actually forgot what the top man. Oh, yeah, we were going to... Actually, let me show that one first. But yeah, for trait stone farming, as I mentioned, pretty much any standard team. Just throw a War Cleric in it. Obviously, Sunbird, Rowan, Firebomb. One of the better combos out there these days. And that's exactly what I'll be throwing out in this particular instance. So right here, we'll go and throw the Firebomb down. Get that down. Start and getting our mana. Doesn't really matter which one we get up. Pretty much we'll kill him regardless. Let him do his little thing. It's actually slightly annoying that he has his hero there. I hate when people do that. They do like the triple Firebomb and like trick people. It's like, hey, we're running 4 times Firebomb. Nope. We're not running 4 times Firebomb. Then again, I could actually see it with the scouting, but I normally don't pay attention. If I see that it's a Firebomb there, there's a good chance it's 4 times Firebomb. Okay, anyways, move that over. He'll do that. Unfortunately, he did so much damage there that we will not be able to kill it with that ability. I think he'll have like 10 HP or something. 16, close enough. But yeah, we'll need to poke him one more time. As you can see, this one's going a little bit slower, but really, really quick wins for here. And then we get our 2 times trait stones at the end of every single PvP battle. Do keep in mind, yeah, that this week it is only to PvP, but this does count for both normal PvP, for ranked, as well as casual. So the easiest way is just keep doing casual until you find a really easy battle. And if there's not an easy battle there, just keep picking until you see a firebomb or until you see something on your first slot that you could easily kill, or on any of them. But generally, it's a firebomb or something like this where you can just go right into it, kill it within under a minute, probably even under 30 seconds in most instances, claim your double trait stone, and then keep repeating that until you have all the trait stones that you want. Of course, this team is Sunbird, Rowan, Firebomb. I've shown it many times. The meta for it hasn't really changed at all, and I don't really foresee it changing anytime soon unless they add some kind of troop that will kind of break away from this. But right now, compared to Firebomb and Elspeth, there aren't really too many double combos, or, you know, both those kind of teams that generate mana. There isn't really any superior option to them, and basically they would need to add another Empowered, very similar to them, and then it will just add a third one, and it'll just keep continuing the cycle. There really isn't much that can get quicker than Empowered, because you start with all the mana. Can't really get quicker than that. Anyways, to end it out, there isn't really any PvP teams I can go show with the new troop, of course. because it only counters daemons and undead. And this late in the game, basically no one is going to be running a 4x daemon undead team. Maybe daemon. It's very, very rare to still see it, but those kind of teams would probably demolish us. So, gonna see if we can run a double Dwarven Gate Valkyrie Tesla against a 3 trophy. As I mentioned, these are the kind of things that you'd use it for. Unfortunately, this is one of the best teams in the game at the moment, so we'll see if we can win. So, yeah, this team is, if you can craft a Tesla, it is only 2 commons and a rare. Both the Dwarven Gates are common. Also, someone brought to my attention, I forget who it is on the top of my head, but I actually didn't notice this until it was brought to my attention. But it actually shows the base rarity of a card. If you look at these little icon things, and you can tell, like, this one's slightly different. It basically goes up with these little star things up to the rarity that it is. So we can see that this one's a common, this one's a rare because it has 2 of them, and this one's a legendary because it has 5 of them. And of course, if it was a mythic, it would show 6, and so on and so forth. The color shows the rarity, as we already knew, but the base rarity showed with the little stars, and I have no clue how I've never noticed that before. Anyways, double Dwarven Gate, Valkyrie Tesla. Let's see if he can beat one of the best teams in the game. Not one of the best defend teams, but, you know, for invading-wise. Some people just like setting as their defend as well. Anyways, I do want to Skull Distract here. While we do want to keep as much armor as we possibly can, I do want to distract him here. He's going to get a really nice Mercy. I could try stopping that. You know what? I actually am, because I believe that still leaves a Skull for him. So we'll take this down just so he doesn't get something weird off of Mercy if he decides to Mercy instead. Never mind, he's still going to get it. Luckily, he didn't go for it. So we'll go take this. I almost want to go get rid of purple now because, yeah, we definitely are. Because he's going to get the Mercy down, so he's going to convert all purple to yellow. So we don't want him doing that. We do want him doing that. We just don't want him doing it for any kind of good value. So we'll take this, mainly for the mana that it gives. So we'll go get ourselves a Valkyrie there. Does look like we give an extra turn there. Wait, did I leave that there? Might have actually left that there. That would have been a fail. Of course, as far as converting things from the board, we want to leave blue, red, and yellow on the board if we can, as those are the only 3 colors. So that leaves 3 colors for us to aim at, which gives a lot of room for us to target stuff. Very occasionally, you will have to throw on yellow or red, but ideally, you'll want to try to avoid that as much as you possibly can. So right here, of course, you could just take a skull. We could go barrier up to go protect against it, but we have enough durability at this current moment in time that won't really matter. Throw this first one down. Looks like we're going to need about 3 of them, assuming it doesn't get more heals or anything like that. Since we do have a Valkyrie here, I will go for it now. Doesn't look like we have it on green or any of those other colors, so as I mentioned, we are going to have to throw it on one of our core colors, in this case, a yellow. Want to try avoiding that, but if there is no way to get around it, you will have to do it. The later you are in the battle, the better that is to do. Especially once you have both gates up, it's perfectly fine to do it because we can simply cast both of them and have a Valkyrie up. So it doesn't really even matter what our board is in a way. We can just get it right back up. And as you can see, that is our second hit right there. We're in a pretty good position at this point. I'm going to go and barrier, I believe, with this third one right here, just to get everything up. That'll get our Valkyrie ready. Hopefully, it'll go for the Skull Distract. There's no way to really cascade for extra turns here, and most of the chances are way too low to go for, like taking that blue into a double yellow or a triple purple. We could have done that, but I don't think it would have been worth it. Luckily, he went for the Skull Distract, so that works out perfectly. We'll go take that. Could have taken the brown to deny him, but now we have that just sitting there. Just in case this isn't enough damage, though I believe it is, we'll just take that brown for an extra turn, and that should be wipe. And it is indeed wipe. And as you can see, we just 3-shot one of the best teams in the game. Not necessarily the best defend, but you get the general point. And if you were earlier on in the game, that would pretty much still do the same thing. Of course, your armor value would be lower, and the amount of armor you'd gain from casting Dwarven Gates would be slightly lower. But overall, it would still be pretty decent value, and it might only take you like maybe 1 more cast than what it took us. And yeah, pretty much play out the exact same way. Definitely highly, highly advised if you're a newer player to go get Tesla. I know I show that team a lot, but yeah, it's around again. You can get her. I know it's 800 diamonds, but if you have it laying around and you don't already have her, she is among one of the best things in the game, at least from an early level perspective, even to mid game. Well, as you can see, it runs through the entire game. You can use it for pretty much anything. Anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. I don't believe I missed anything. If you guys still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. As I mentioned, the new Mythic is available until Friday reset if you're still looking to get it from Glory, Gem, Guild, or VIP chests. Also, the new Kingdom is coming out this Friday, or it should be. That's bringing in a couple new Doom Skull mechanics, so we have that to look forward to as well. And you might want to use some keys for that. Do keep in mind, the event for it will be next Monday, so 1 week from today. And for that, you'll want to use event keys. This Friday, you'll mostly only want to use gold and glory keys and save your gem keys either for now, or you could save them for Friday, either or. But your event keys, you definitely want to save for Monday. Keep in mind, when Friday hits, that doesn't change the event. It's still going to be a White Helm event. So do make sure to save them all the way till next week when the event actually switches over 1 week from today. But anyways, guys, I'll wrap up. Oh, and Bounty Hunter this Friday, too. But anyways, guys, that'll wrap up everything. Again, any other questions, leave them below. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful week. Goodbye, everyone.